Hello, I'm Evan Brand, board certified holistic nutritionist and certified functional medicine practitioner. I'm talking with you today about liver cleanses. This is something you read about. This is something that you hear about on podcasts. I'm sure you've seen products about liver cleanses, these miracle cures that arrive at your door, and you take these magic pills or magic potions and then your liver's fine. And some of that may be true if it's actually good quality ingredients, but really we need to have a deeper understanding of what the liver is actually doing, what it's exposed to, what are you actually going to feel, what are you going to sense if your liver is not working, or if your liver is sluggish. If it's not working, you're in big trouble, but typically a sluggish liver is what we're going to find in the clinic, and that can be resolved. So let's talk about some of the symptoms that you may be experiencing. So over here on the nervous system side of things, you may be feeling depression, anger and irritability, and brain fog. Those are the top 3 symptoms. Now, truth be told, a lot of these symptoms can also come from other digestive issues. Like parasites, for example, can cause issues with mood because you're getting robbed of your nutrients. So you can check out my parasite video. But with a sluggish liver, you're going to feel these mood changes. Now, think about when you go to your psychiatrist, for example, and you tell them that you have depression. They're never going to say, well, why don't we see how sluggish your liver is functioning? You're going to get the prescription antidepressant. So we really have to dig deeper first to figure out why these things are happening. Depression is more of a symptom, not necessarily a disease. I dealt with depression many years, so I know this firsthand. Now, secondly, external signs. So we're going to have some things outside of the body. So acne is going to be a big one. So if you're having breakouts after certain types of foods, things like that, something to look for. Bad breath, so halitosis. You may not have bad breath enough to fill up a room, but if your partner, your spouse is telling you you have bad breath, that's enough sign that some things can be done to detoxify your body better. Also, red palms. So take a look at your hands. Mine may look red in this light, who knows? Dark circles under the eyes. So you see those people with the big bags and the big, just almost looks like they have makeup under their eyes where they put black shadow on. Not a good sign. Lastly, GI symptoms here: bloating, indigestion, intolerance to alcohol. So if you're somebody who goes and you take one shot or you take one glass of wine and you're tipsy, that may be a sign. You may just be sensitive if you never do alcohol. I tend to think my liver's pretty healthy, and if I drink one shot, which I drink about one shot a year, that's it. I'm done for. So causes, why is this happening? Why do we have a sluggish liver? Well, the environment's going to be the huge one here because we live in a more toxic environment than humankind has ever seen in human history. So our food, our air, our water, our soil, all of these places that we live and inhabit this planet are more toxic than before. There's hundreds of thousands of chemicals in the environment that did not exist 100 years ago. Most of our agriculture, unless it's certified organic, is going to be sprayed with various pesticides and herbicides such as glyphosate, which has a very strong link to all sorts of illnesses and diseases. Organic food is a must if you want to have a healthy liver. So talked about that. Lacking exercise. So this lymphatic system, your lymph tissue that's in the lymph fluids, it's helping you as you move around. That's important. You got to have movement if you want to be healthy. So if you're a sedentary person and you try to just go get a 20-minute workout after a long day at work, that may not be enough. So incorporating a little bit of exercise into your morning, maybe your lunch break, could be a great idea. Obesity. So this is a common sense one here. Your fat cells store toxins. So the leaner you are, generally, the healthier you're going to be. Now, if you're 3-4% body fat, like some of the bodybuilders that take diuretics to look that way, not healthy. A healthy body fat percentage. So if you can have some slight visible abs, that's great. The less body fat you have, the less landfill, essentially, you have in your body to store these toxins, which is where most of these toxins end up if they're fat soluble. Viral infections, so Epstein-Barr virus and other types of co-infections that people may get with Lyme disease, for example, mycoplasma pneumonia, things like that. Those all put a stress on the body, stress the immune system, stress the liver. Parasites, so this is a big one too. Different parasitic infections are going to be releasing endotoxins into the body, and that's an increased stress. So anytime we're working with someone on a parasite removal protocol, at the end we bring in some liver support to help flush everything out, keep the bile and bile from the gallbladder and keep the liver supported. Adrenal stress. So it's called the Powell System, the pancreas, the adrenals, the liver These are the three organs that are responsible for helping you to regulate your blood sugar. So if you're eating a lot of refined carbohydrate, you're eating a lot of sugar, your pancreas is having to work harder than it should to secrete insulin. Now it can only do that for so long before it needs some backup help from the liver and also some backup help from the adrenals. So if you have blood sugar issues, hypoglycemia, your blood sugar's crashing, you're eating lots of sugar, you're eating refined carbohydrate, then you may have issues with that Powell system, and adrenal stress is just one piece of that triangle there that can cause liver issues. Hormonal imbalance, same thing. So hormonal birth control, for example, is probably the most common one there. Negative emotions, so this one's a little bit out there for some people, but it's true that we do store emotions in our body. You can feel it. When you go into a room when someone's been fighting, you can feel that in the air. You can feel it in your stomach. Those emotions get stored up. Same thing with traumas, and this can wear down the body over time. So how do we fix it? So the first thing is we have to remove. We have to remove everything that we're exposed to. So I talked about the organic food. You want to have a HEPA air purifier in your home, for example, if not multiple HEPA air purifiers. The EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, they talk about how dangerous indoor air is. It's much more toxic than outdoor fresh air, and we spend a lot of our times indoors. So indoor air quality is a huge issue. So you got to have your clean air, you got to have your clean water, so you got to filter it if you're not sourcing spring water. Soil, meaning you want to have organically grown vegetables and pasture-raised animals if you're eating animal protein. And then food, so I'll just write organic here. Second, walking. Or even more, rebounding can be something great. Those little trampolines, you could probably get them on Craigslist for $20, $30, or you can buy the fancy ones online for $400. A rebounder can be a great way to really start to flush out that lymph. Obesity, so losing weight obviously is going to be really helpful. If you need help losing weight, then it's important to work with a functional medicine practitioner. That way you're not making yourself sick by jumping on someone's cleanse. Typically cleansing and detoxification is something that you do towards the end of a functional medicine program. You got to get your hormones adjusted first, you got to get your gut healthy first, and then you focus on detox. You don't decide what color drapes you're going to put on your windows before you've even had that foundation for your house built. At least I hope you don't. Parasitic infections, viral infections, you got to remove those. Remove infections. So if you haven't, get a comprehensive stool panel run. You can do those at home. That's something that I do in my clinic all the time. And if you're free and clear of infections, great. That's one thing to mark off the list. Adrenal stress, so you got to address that. So adrenals need to be healthy. So whether you're taking some adaptogenic herbs like rhodiola, holy basil, those are two of my favorites. Hormonal imbalance, so you got to fix those. So whether you're looking into birth control alternatives and you're leaving the hormonal birth control, that's something that you have to have a conversation with your doctor and figure out what your options are. So we'll just put birth control, a safe version, and then negative emotions. So for that, I would recommend something like EFT, emotional freedom technique, tapping. It's excellent. I use it all the time. If I'm flying, if I'm going on stage to speak, I'm going to be doing some tapping, some acupressure points. They're going to help the body to calm down and get you out of that fight or flight mode. So I'll put EFT down here. Check out Dr. Mercola's site on EFT. This is Evan Brand signing out. If you'd like to schedule a 15-minute free call, get help with all of this, you can click on screen here. I'd be happy to chat with you. Take care. Bye-bye.